to start with this message, but y'all know how I've been. Y'all know I've been like, I don't know. I'm gonna calm down and then I'm gonna start. So give me a second. Let me take a woosah. Hi y'all. How are you? I hope everyone is well. I hope that you are staying close to God, that you are being prayed up consistently, and that you are not giving the enemy the time of day. So, as you guys see by the title, and y'all know when I make these lives, I leave them there. I don't delete them at all. Um, it was a lot happened tonight, which caused me to leave my family behind. Not just one side of my family, but everybody for good. When you when you walk in light, and I'm sitting in my car recording this video. Hold on. The enemy don't want me to put this out. So when you're sitting in light and when you operate from light, the enemy will try his very best to come in and destroy everything that you have built. The enemy does not want you to succeed for several facts of you being this amazing person, knowing the weight you hold, knowing exactly who you are meant to be. The enemy does not want you to shine or operate in that light. Now, family don't do nothing but reveal everything to me that I've already felt about them. It has gotten to a point where I had to basically, you know, tell family that this will be, and I say this in a healthy way, but this will be the last time you guys would see me because of everything that I've dealt with from both sides, from my mother's side to my dad's side. It's I've dealt with a lot with family. They have hurt me. Some of them would say I've hurt them, right? And I do hold myself accountable for how I've treated family at some point. But what you got to understand is family is not who they say they are. They say blood is thicker than water, but I say that is the furthest from the truth. I don't get on here and I don't seek attention. I don't do that. Y'all barely really ever hear me, or see any postings on live or anything, or me just going off of spazzing at my family, unless there's major issues. Now, you must understand that I've been having some good moments, some real good seasons and good moments in my life, but it's like the moment you rise, here come family or here comes somebody trying you. And when I tell you that family is the biggest foes that a person could know, just like the Bible in Matthew, it says that your own foes should be they of your own household. And it's so true. When I tell you I feel real good, y'all, like literally getting rid of family and walking away from family, it was like the hardest thing to do in my early 20s to my mid 20s. But since I've hit my late 20s, it has became a lot more easier for me to do so. And I feel so good knowing that this is a new chapter and I have officially let my family go. And this is the type of let your family go where you don't ever care to go back. Now, if you go back, it's because everything is starting to align perfectly. Everybody then, well, some of the people that you then left behind, they started to work on themselves. Things got better. Everything, people want to reconcile with you. They want to, apologize. They forgive you. You forgive them. And y'all just work on yourselves. But then you have family who just don't even care to apologize, and you'll probably never hear from them ever again. So I'm like, at this point, y'all, I've cut my family off. And I even thought about moving out of the city of Houston, man, and just saying, man, I want to get away. But Houston is not the problem in itself. It's the people I've surrounded myself with, and they all just so happen to be my family. Just so happen to be family. So something so if you actually stayed to hear this story, or if you want to hear it, um, I advise you to stay until the end. Tonight was something so evil that happened with family. It was so evil. And it happened tonight. And it involved my daddy, his brother, his brother's daughter, and myself. And the reason why this was so evil, the reason why this was so evil is because I feel like my father's brother, who is so happened to be, I believe, his baby brother, but he's also a grown man. He's in his 40s, late 40s. He despised my father so much, and he has always been envious of him. And something happened tonight that was extremely terrifying if you would allow it to terrify you. But see, I walk in the love and light of God that I can't I can't walk in fear, and I can't be defeated in any way. So this was a situation. I'm kind of beating around the bush with it without I'm gonna give y'all a full story really, really soon. But right now I just want y'all to understand that my it was some crazy stuff that happened tonight, to the point where cops had to be called. Um we literally had to it was literally almost a fight. It was my father and I versus his evil brother and evil daughter. Now I want to tell y'all something. I ain't never ran. I don't run from nothing. I'm not afraid of nothing. And this was the type of situation tonight that proved the power that I have by the grace of God. They are some of the people that I call evil to the point of no return. Now, a situation happened where, um, his daughter's not supposed to be at, you know, around um a certain person. And it's not me, but a certain person. And I end up confronting the young woman who is my cousin over her being, in that same house as the person she was not supposed to be around. So her father came. Mind you, her father is the same man who tried to kill me about what I'd say about 4 years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago. And by the grace of God, I was vindicated, and I look amazing and I feel great. But my uncle tried to unalive me in a situation about 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5 years ago. And his daughter, I end up pressing charges on her dad or whatever, due to the fact is, um, I ended up pressing charges on, her dad because of the simple fact, of the violence that, and the physical damage that he had caused me in that moment. Mind you, I was a lot smaller, and I was a child back then, but now I'm a lot older. So, anyways, um, she trying, how are you? So anyways, he ended up I ended up pressing charges on my uncle due to the fact, it was a physical abuse back then, and I pressed charges on him. I filed a restraining order and everything. So he really is not supposed to be around me. Most times he's always drunk, and he's a bad influence. He's a bad person to be around, if I may say so myself. And probably a few months later, his daughter ended up making an accusation on someone dear and close to my heart. Um, about something that was super, super, it was such a sensitive topic to just break down all in itself. But I definitely want to reveal more to y'all real soon about that. I'm just kind of, keeping it um, brief for now. But something happened tonight to the point where I've decided that I no longer will give family access to me ever again. Never. My mother, is someone I love dearly, but I had to cut her off for a moment. And I would hope to reconcile and be dear to my mother and close to her, as I once were before, but I want it to be better than what it was. And I love my father, but my father has a very soft heart. And I could say that's his weakness. His heart is too soft for people. He's kind of like a loving person who could easily be manipulated and pushed over. But thank God for him to have children, or a son rather, because I can't speak on his other kids, but I can definitely talk about me. Having this discernment and willpower and wisdom to be able to discern, and judge righteously before a situation or circumstance happen in his life, because I can see it and God has already given me the vision. But yeah, my dad has this soft heart, and he allows people to run over him at some point and manipulate him, and and to the point where he has a lot has happened in his life that he's currently facing and dealing with in this moment. But y'all, when I tell y'all I'm so done with family and the stuff that I'm about to do now by the grace of God, it's only this is no New Year's resolution. This is something I've been going through all year. This is something I've been going through 4 years now, like for actual years. And I finally have gotten to a place of where I have to depend on only on myself. God has given me another job. He has given me, I have my car. I have an SUV. I've been having this car for over 2 years by the grace of God. Um, my funds have gotten a lot better. I'm hopefully soon about to get this new apartment. But I've decided to give it up, y'all. I've decided to get rid of family because I'm sick of family. I normally would get on here and cry like a baby, but I think, I only cry, y'all, for real, when I'm really, really just lost for words. And this time I'm able to hold it together. And the funny thing, it's not really funny, but the crazy thing about this week is God has been telling me from last week that I need to go to church. And I've been going to church. I just stopped for a second, especially due to the fact that I got a job where I work on the weekends, and I normally would go to church on Sundays. But I had to stop going due to the fact of my shifts. And I work 11 hours of shifts, or 10 hours a shift mostly. Man, and God told me to go to church all last week. He just kept telling me. And then all of a sudden, I end up getting to a place where I'm like, okay, God, I'm gonna go ahead and call in tomorrow, which is it's Sunday. I already called in. I let them know that, hey, I want to go to church. I feel called. They was like, okay, cool. We gonna fill in for you. That's cool. And I done got my church clothes iron, playing good old R&B, before, just gathering myself, knowing that I'm gonna have this beautiful off day. And then all of a sudden, y'all, a situation happened where something just took a turn for the worse. And it just really made me get my stuff and go. And I told you I'm finna do a story time, so that story time can come tomorrow. And this is gonna be a raw, uncut story time. I mean, if you want to hear, you can go ahead and subscribe or whatever, or just stay tuned. You ain't even gotta subscribe. I really don't care. But I just want y'all to stay tuned because I'm really here to just inform people about family and how to deal with toxicity. You know what I'm saying? And how to remain in your truth and in your faith. You gotta be bold. Every day we live in this world where people gonna judge us based off of who they think we is or who they want us to be or who we not to them and things like that. But we gotta understand we have to learn how to stand in our truth, stand in our power, man. Even around family. If your friends ain't your friends and they only want to hang around you just because you want to go to the club or whatever the case is, it's time to let them friends go. If your family only love you because you can throw them a couple of $100 here and every now and then, it's time to let them go. Family is the biggest foes in our life, and they will show it every time. Now, don't hold on to family because you feel like you obligated because that's flesh and blood. It's time to get up and it's time to let them go. And I don't know who might be watching this video. I was trying to get as specific as I possibly could with the title. So if you clicked on it, it's obvious that you're dealing with some of those same things and you're curious to how someone else could cope or how they've dealt with it. And my family is so toxic, y'all, that it's literally like it's me against them. Or I would say them against me, literally. Because it's not me against them. I never wanted to be against my family. Never. And I'm still not against them. I'm just only what's best for me. But when I tell you, it feel like my whole family is against me, man. Um, the uncle, the guy that I pressed charges on a couple of years ago. He physically got in my face today and was putting his finger in my face. I'm like, I removed his hand out my way, um, without hitting him. I'm just like, don't put your hand in my face. And mind you, since I've given him uh, um I pressed charges on him and he got a charge behind it. He's trying to return that favor. But by the grace of God, that weapon didn't prosper. And I don't I don't say any of these things in my own power because I am powerful. But it's only by God's grace that I'm still standing. And when y'all been through some of the stuff that I've been through, man, to be able to get on these videos, and I used to be afraid to do this stuff. I used to be scared. God, I don't want to minister. God, I don't want to um God, I don't want to minister. I don't want to get on online and tell my testimony. I don't want people knowing my business because I'm a private young man. And the stuff that I post, it's it's just very rare. Do sales. I'm not sure what you mean, but I can actually say that we do get an earthly family, but is that really your first family when you think about it? Like, you know, and like, is that really your family? I know that that's your earthly family. Your mother and your father was the ones that had to get you here. But do you really need to be around, especially if you're called by God to do something totally different from the world? Do you need to be around? Is it a requirement to be around people that slow you down and don't give you the respect that you deserve, pull you away from God? Are they really important? One thing that I want people to understand, though, from this message before I get off is that never be afraid to tell your story. If family is coming at you, don't fight them physically. Sometimes you got to fight in that spiritual realm. You got to get in the field spiritually and you got to obey God. You have to be willing to move out the way, let God fight your battles, but be ready to swing if God say, "Hey, look, I need you to start fighting back." I'm gonna end this live here because I know that this, even with just these 20 minutes, I know it touched somebody. So hopefully I was able to inspire. And I'm gonna have the full story coming soon, and it's gonna be uncut. It's gonna be raw. Everything. It's just gonna be everything. I feel like maybe one of you guys need to hear. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next video.